Oh my gosh, look at us. Hey, look at us going live. All right, you guys, welcome to Go Live number 2 today. Joanna Banana. What? Look at us. Oh, here comes Mr. Marcus. We're going to add him. Hello, Dr.
The man, the myth, the legend.
Oh, gee. Okay.
I'm
the
not
man
worthy.
in the background. Yes, yes.
The man,
it's more like
the man in the mirror.
Are all those plants?
Those are plants, yes.
Oh, I'm intrigued. I wish you could see over here. I have a whole system.
Yeah,
maybe I'll turn it around to show you.
In the desert, yeah. Unfortunately, you can't see. Yeah, there's my flag right over.
Look at you guys.
Yeah.
Those are all my
right in the middle, right there.
We're showing plants and flags there, Lara Croft.
Oh, if I go back, you can see it better.
Hey, you guys. All right.
Hello, everybody.
Let's let everybody know what we're doing here. So thank you for joining us. If you missed the first live this morning at 7 a.m., we're talking about Win the Wellness W.A.R. The book finally launched. I'm sure you guys are sick of me over the last 9 months seeing my crap out there. I'm sick of me. Marcus, are you sick of me?
It was a tsunami. Hey, well worth it though. I mean, we need to spread the word. That's what it is. Yeah. And I hope we're going to get that accomplished.
Yeah, I appreciate that. So you guys, we have several more lives over the next 24 hours. The last one's tomorrow morning at 6:30 a.m. And we're pushing a 24-hour launch because we're giving you access to a secret vault. And we're also giving you access to some bargains. And so in the comment section, when we're done this lovely thing, I'll go ahead and put the links on how you can purchase the ebook and the book at a discount and get a key to get into the secret vault. And today we have some authors on here with us. So just real quickly, this book is a compilation book, but it's also got a lot of health and wellness content in it from Dr. Vetstein and myself. We've known each other for a long time. Shall I get my gavel?
Absolutely.
I used to run his medical clinics. I was his office manager back in 2009. So I know him very well. I know how tech savvy he is.
That's the delay in joining the group. I tried this on Facebook and the thing was counting down and then says, you're not connected. And I'm going like, what?
I know, right? It's okay.
Oh, well.
Teresa, welcome.
Hey!
Yay. Teresa is, she has multiple hats here. Let me get the comments flowing in case they're coming in. Teresa is a contributing author to the book, but she also holds the hat as one of our media partners, but she also is the publisher of this book, this series. So this is book 2 of 3, the trilogy, Teresa. 2 years we've been going now, I think, on these things.
No, in November.
No, with the first book, we started like in the end of 2021 on Fourfold Formula.
I think.
Yeah.
I'm getting old.
Were people still wearing masks then?
We were probably. Marcus, just to let you know, we wrote this book together first, and then we just wrote this one, buddy. So it's been a while.
Oh, thank you. Really, man. Oh, gee.
Marcus, you are,
That's me. I think that's me.
That's you. Yeah.
That's what I have to put up with. He didn't pay me enough money, so I left. This is what I had to put up with. Right here. I not only left him, I left the state of Colorado and went as far as I could.
No kidding. Just totally abandoned me. Unbelievable.
I love you.
She was in search of a hurricane.
That's right.
Yeah. All right, you
that's
guys,
what you get.
you.
See, that's what you get. A hurricane. For moving away from me. That's what happened.
Well, so
now
I
we know.
gotta say one thing about this whole thing. This has been a blast. I can tell you that.
Yeah. Right.
It has. It's been a blast. I mean, I love you guys, and your stories. Everybody who's written their stories are just amazing. Life-changing stuff within the pages of these books. Absolutely. Yeah. And I say this every time I'm in conversation with Marcus. He has transformed from I don't see anything, I do my job, to hey, here I am.
Hey, finally enjoying myself. Let's put it that way, you know. And that whole message needs to be coming across, I think, and that's what we're doing in the book, you know, in both books actually. The first book, I wrote a little bit about myself, and the second book is more like in terms of what I'm having fun with.
Right.
And I also think it's cool too, because you constantly hear people say things like, everyone has a story, and don't talk to somebody negatively because you don't know how their day is going. But this actually like puts those people's stories out there, and these are people that you could run into on the street, or these are people that you can run into on a train or something like that. And we all have these. Every single person you run into has one of these background stories.
Yeah.
Why not learn and connect?
Right.
I'll tell you, Marcus and I met yesterday, and I was reading some of the reviews to him. So we had some book reviewers ahead of time that we reached out to, random people through other people. They're not our friends and family. You can buy reviews anywhere. We don't do that. But they were coming and they were really specific, like mentioning specific titles and content and pages and how the wheel is going to help them. And, you know, we have a downloadable wheel, you guys. So when you're reading these books, you can run out on Amazon and get them. But when you're reading these books, it really does explain what we talked about, the trademark All Things Wellness wheel. It's a self-assessment wheel, 24 spokes, and it really explains how to use the tool to assess where you are in your wellness, not just exercise and eating well, all areas, and then an improvement plan and prompts on how to improve that. So stop following that cookie cutter crap out there, right? Because like, look at Laura. Let's talk about Laura for a second. She lives on a boat, literally. She sails, her family. And so her health and wellness is going to look much different than someone who may be a trainer at a gym who's coaching somebody and they work 70 hours a week in that little industry, might not have family, might not have, you know, corporate America, might not have issues with organization. And so that's what I love about these stories, is they all fit into this wheel. Laura, how are you doing?
Good. Well, and I have to say too, I think the piece of accessibility is huge as well. I think people, when they're starting to try to figure out what is right for them, I think it's so important to hear all different types of stories of how people have found healing or growth or learning how to find what exactly works for them. So I love that you offer the tools, but also there's all these different stories of how people have done it. 100%. So it's really...
Yeah.
When we're looking at the room right now, just the people in the room, we've got a story on not mastering, but really attacking eating disorders. We have someone in the room who's comparing pottery to wellness. We have somebody in here that talks about, you know, consciousness and heart alignment, and we have domestic violence story in the room. And then, you know, I have one with my sister here who I want to pop on, who's saying hi to you guys. Congratulations to everyone. I can't get on because I'm at work. That's right. You go work, you. So
but you can text at work, huh? Oh boy, don't let the company know.
I know. She'll be saying, I'm on my lunch. She just had bilateral knee procedure and is right back to work in the last few days. So, and Angie's my sister. So Angie was in this book, and in the last book she talked about overcoming her meth addiction. So you can read about that. She's been sober now for 21 years. And we grew up in a family where there was no drugs. There was none of that stuff. And it was a story of just one time, you know, a one-time deal. And then this book, my sister and I decided to write a story together on different perspectives, big sister, little sister, on different perspectives of events in our life where we just never understood. You know, she thought I was just off getting straight A's and being a cheerleader, and I'm dealing with an eating disorder, and she's over here, you know, so we go through that kind of perspective. Because stories, you know, Marcus, when we were editing these amazing freaking stories that make us cry half the time, isn't it amazing how every story could fit? Mark Reed and I were talking in the live this morning. They could fit in every single quadrant spoke in the book, right? Joanna,
right.
Heart, spirit, mind, body is, but what did you think about editing all these stories? How did you feel this trip around?
Who's this now?
You, honey, you and I.
Oh,
edited
me?
I
thought I wasn't here.
We just wrote 2 books together. We wrote this one, and then we wrote this. How was it? How was it edited?
You know, it is so very highly variable, and that's what I find so attractive about it. I mean, you can read one story and totally connect with it, and the next story might not fit your personal profile. But all of them are sort of an entryway. We try and make sure that we get people to understand that, well, if this resonates with you, maybe you're in a similar situation, and maybe if you tie this to the wellness wheel, you can do better for yourself. And that's what the message is supposed to be. People are picking up this book and talking about the reviews. You mentioned the other one where somebody said, I'm going to use this. I didn't even know that existed from here on out for my wellness. Well, that's what we're trying to drive at, to have people use this for their self-improvement, because, gosh, I just can't state often enough how it changed me. So, I just want to scream it out there.
You guys many of you don't know this, but Marcus and I have done a lot of different pilots of different things. Diabetes pilot. We've done some stress management pilot groups and things. And so when I wanted to write a book like this, I reached out to him and we were chatting about the wellness wheel. And I said, you know what, before we do this, I need to coach you like I do everybody else. Like you can't come along in this journey and not understand. So he's like, so for 12 weeks, I put him through this lovely experience. And that really allowed, I know, that's how I felt about you sometimes too. But I really believe that that's, as a physician and endocrinologist who deals with diabetes and, thyroid issue patients all the time, it really was a blessing for me when you're coming from Western medicine to help realize that life and wellness is more than just medication, more than what you weigh, so I appreciate.
Yeah. And this, my little interception there was basically to, make sure that everybody knows, this is not easy, but you need to, if you can't do it yourself, you need to employ the right person to pull you through it. Mm-hmm. And that's basically what that was for me. And sometimes it's even, I was not at the stage in my life where I thought I could do something like that, start taking care of myself. I was just, self-pity, whatever, not depression, whatever you want to name it. And then having you come along was one of those things. I would not have initiated that. Life brought it to me. And the only thing you have to do is being awake enough to recognize that this is the time for action. Yeah. And the book is supposed to give you the spark to say, okay, now is the time for action, because that is where we're all stuck. We're doing this programmed lifestyle for 80% of our lives, some people say out there, and have hardly any enjoyment. And this is what it's supposed to be. This is, we're placed here.
We were supposed to enjoy this life.
Imagine that. What a concept. That's right up against our program, right?
I know.
We're told as kids, you go and you get married and you have family and you have your, whatever. I mean, it's crazy.
Yeah. It's funny because when you do grow up, you're given these if you do this, you will be happy. If you go to college, you will get the job. If you get good grades, you will get into the college you want. If you get married, you will be happy for life. Happily ever after. You have all these things, and the happiness comes later all the time. we don't realize that really the happiness is only going to happen now. You can't program happiness in the future. You could do all the steps that you were supposed to and end up with cancer. I mean, stranger things have happened. But I think it's important to realize that the only way to really, truly find happiness and joy and contentment is now. I mean, one of the things I love doing, spring is one of my favorite seasons, my garden. I get to plant plants and look at my sunflowers grow. And I mean, I have 2 children. My daughter likes it, but isn't as into it. My son and I, every single morning, that little dude and I, he's 5, we'll walk outside. He'll be like, can we do a garden tour? Because he just wants to see how big the cucumbers grew. He wants to see how big the flowers grow. And to me, knowing he's a Capricorn, so I guess that's kind of par for course. He's really big into getting grounded. But just watching him be able to experience that joy, me as a 5-year-old, I don't think that I've ever had those opportunities to just be in the current moment, walk around, talk about a plant, and then go past it. It was always like, no, you got to go to school. You got to go this. You got to do that. You got to listen. You got to sit down. You got to pay attention. No, let's just have a moment to just be right now and then learn what being content is. It's not like this overwhelming feeling of joy most of the time. Exactly. It's just the absence of the negative feelings.
Yeah, and the beauty about this group is that it looks like we are gathering more and more people that are getting that idea and really sharing that with the group. I mean, all the different ways of achieving personal happiness. I mean, for instance, Lara, has a completely different way of setting her life up to feel happy and content. Am I correct with that, Lara?
Yes. Yeah. Well,
so you don't have a garden on a sailboat?
Too about it all. What's that?
I said you don't have a big garden on a sailboat.
No gardens here. Doesn't like the salt air for sure. I've tried though. But yeah, I think it's being playful with it too, and being able to step outside the box, or those prescriptive kind of things that are handed to you, programs and things like that, and being able to take what works for you and then let go of what doesn't. So, and not, having it all be so serious. Let it be playful, be in the garden and be out in nature and all these other things that also may not cost money, right? So
it's exactly right. When we started these books in the end of 2021, we were kind of laughing in here, Joanna, about, were we still wearing masks? But when all my clients back then, I mean, it was really tough being a coach. And luckily I've been virtual for a long time, but a family that I was working with at the time, I had 4 of them, and 2 of them were teenage boys. One was 17 and one was 21. And they ended up stuck at home. So one had to pull out of high school, one had to pull out of Columbia, out of college. And so I was working with them, and they really taught me that isolation, we forget about the males that are home, the testosterone that builds up, right? They can't go throw a football, and they couldn't date. And one of them had never dated online. And what do I do? And they just went into this funk. So part of writing this compilation book really hit me upside the head when I thought, I need to tell some of these stories, because as a coach, I have them in my library. So I know all of this stuff, and we're all unique, but yet the same. And so wanting to get these stories out, because, one story that was written in the first book, I was contacted by somebody on LinkedIn who saw the post and called me right away and said one of the stories, he literally was going to cash out, and he read one of the stories and had no idea other people feel the same. That's just from reading a 2,000-word story. So for anybody who's introverted or mental health, or is stuck on the couch because they have medical issues, they could pick a book up like this, you guys. And for those of you guys listening, seriously, and you can change. Teresa, you've seen this a million times. It changes and saves lives when people share their stories, doesn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. I've seen so many stories come across with, domestic violence, addiction, just about anything you can imagine has come across my desk. And the biggest thing, there's 2 things that are really powerful. Number 1, the person writing this story gets a sense of freedom for having let it go onto the page. And then the people reading it who have been or are in similar situations as the author is depicting in their words, they get the opportunity to step into the healing process as well. So what I say to people all the time is that if you have found the way out of something, whatever that something is, I feel that we're obligated to go ahead and share how we got out of it, so that we can give the next person coming through a hand up so they can do it too. So that's why I feel like these compilation books are so powerful and so much needed and so important. And another factor with these compilation books, the one that I did with the Daily Gift of Gratitude, and that all of the authors in this book get an opportunity to write in the next book, which is the Daily Gift of Hope. It's quick. It's easy to read. You can get a dose of hope in the morning. You can get a dose of whatever each one of you or us as authors is putting into the pages of, Win the Wellness W.A.R. And then the next one, get ready for success.
Mm-hmm. Get prepared.
BTS, get ready for success. Get prepared for success. So that all of that, if you have time in the morning, I wouldn't even say if you have time in the morning. I would say make time in your day, sometime during your day, whatever works for you, to immerse yourself into somebody's story, something. A short story, no matter how small it is, no matter if it's 5,000 words, if it's whatever, it's not going to take you but maybe 5 to 10 minutes to read something that's going to set your day in a place of almost like wow. Yeah. Almost wow. You know, they got through this or whatever, or I can use hope in my life. I feel hopeless because blah, 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 blah. What's going on in the world, yada, yada, yada. But yeah, when you pick up a daily gift of hope or a daily gift of gratitude, you have something to be grateful for. You have something to be hopeful about. And when kindness comes out, you have something to add to your repertoire in terms of what you can do to be kind to another person. So, and more than anything and more than any time in history, I believe the world needs these conversations right now.
Too.
Right now. So
one of the messages I want to, thank you, Teresa, get across is that these stories don't mean that everybody has it figured out. No. It does, right? It doesn't mean from the second we put our finger on the keyboard and it starts, or however you do your stories. I had several of them turned in just by talking into their email body, and we did some cutting and pasting. Some people who've never used Word before, so much respect, no judgment. But from when we start that first word to when we finish doesn't mean there's no judgment in these stories. So if anybody wants to write in the future, just think about that. You don't have to have it solved by the 1900th word, right? Exactly. I mean, it's now Marcus has me calling you Lara. Lara also blogs for me, and she's a very, very, very good writer. And I would say with your story, I'm just thinking off the top of my head, if you don't mind sharing, do you feel like you have your whole story figured out?
Absolutely not.
Right? I mean,
yeah. Well, and I think that's the beautiful.
Go ahead.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Yeah. No. Well, and I think that's it. Is just recognizing that there's iterations all throughout your life, and I think so often we do feel like we need to figure it out and kind of put a bow on it and put it in our past and move on, and that if we figure out the right things to do, then it's gonna alleviate. But like Joanna said, things happen and unexpected things happen, and it's building that resiliency and able to move through and work through, and also to see, the stories allow there to be insight to people on different phases of the journey, seeing that, where you might be in year 1, but where you might be in year 3 or year 23, it's all very different, but the growth doesn't stop. And so recognizing that within yourself, that there is no end game, that it's just learning how to be with and build awareness and nurture yourself all along the way. So, and build empathy for others where they are in their stories. So
that's yeah. Marcus?
Oh, I was just trying to quote Frank Zappa. There's no way to delay that trouble coming every day. That's basically, one of those things that we
said that after
the resilience is the thing. Having that resilience, not letting it blow you over, because too many people have too many things coming at them, and it's just they get blown over by it, And what we have to do is trying to figure out, hey, does this all need to be coming at me?
Well, and with the wheel too, Marcus, you guys, it has 24 spokes. So metaphorically, it's like a wellness wheel. And if you keep it going and there's no punctures, your wellness wagon goes, you keep going towards goal, whether it's buying a house, getting married, it doesn't matter what your goal is. The point is, if you really realize there's 24 areas to look at, you're able to kind of see not only where you are in each of those spokes, but where you're not doing well early enough before there's a puncture and it all goes to hell. And things, that's why those things sneak up on us. And it's always, I always say I have a plan B, C, D, E, F, and G, but this tool helped me. Marcus and I put examples of some pre and post wheels in the book. And I actually had a better wheel. Again, this is a self-assessment tool. I had a better one after the hurricane hit us last fall than I did prior to the hurricane, just because I knew I had to get my hands on that damn tool and figure out what I was doing poorly. It's always my spirit quadrant. I don't meditate. I don't take the time, blah, blah, blah. And my food. I don't have a mechanism that tells me to eat. When I go, go.
You scored pretty low on the home environment too.
I think the spirituality part is cool to think about because it just goes with what you guys were saying earlier with how we have all these different authors contributing. I mean, I love meditating. I learned how to do that after my traumatic situation. It was just something that my therapist said. I was like, okay, let me try it. Let's do it. My best friend who lives in Texas, she is such a very religious person. So in the morning, she prays. I meditate. And I have other friends that, like what Teresa was saying, they like to wake up and read a book in the morning and set their goals in their mind to follow something like that. So like, it's just more about giving yourself and your brain time to just not have to do anything else and not think about much else and just be positive and grateful and have these moments of everything is going to be okay, regardless what's going on that day. I mean, something catastrophic could happen, but if you're in the mindset to be grateful and to be glad for all that you have, that just sets your day off in a way different spot than, oh, my alarm's going off.
But I can tell you right now, Joanna, what's interesting with, because we didn't just, this just didn't come along. So here's my thing. You see how your body language is and your eyes are open. You're so passionate and leaning in like, I meditate. And I'm sitting here looking for a barf bucket, right? And like if I sit still for 1 minute, somebody's going to die. But I was just thinking that I would know.
Here's your bucket right there.
And here's mine.
What does it say on it?
Always be thankful.
Exactly. It's always be thankful. Whether you're taking it in or letting it out, always be thankful.
What I was going to say to Joanna is when I work with clients like that, wherever they lean forward like that, they're getting an A, right? That's their A+ report card. But I can tell you right now, there's some D's and F's over here because whatever makes us feel super great means we're probably puncturing or slow leak somewhere else. And there's no judgment on where that is. But I would tell you right now that she could be out there meditating for probably 3 hours in the morning and the chicken's boiling over and, her kids. Just kidding.
I give myself 10 minutes. That's a very safe, 10 to 15 minutes is a safe window. It changes everything.
Yes, exactly.
I got to take care of kids. I have chickens. I have dogs. I have a house. There's a whole list of other things that have to get done. I need to vacuum. Thankfully,
lots
you
more
can't see the
stories
floor.
to talk about. So let's circle back around for some final thoughts. And as we're headed off here, remember, you guys, this is a book day launch, and we've got an ebook and the paperback out there on Amazon. The ebook is $5.99 today and through tomorrow at 7 a.m. And then the book is $15.99, and it's a humdinger. It's 1.6 pounds. Lots of content. So let's circle back around. Anything you'd like to say, Lara? How about you? What are your thoughts? Lara Croft, Lara.
Sorry, we've got everybody in a small space, so I'm trying not to have outside noise. Yeah, I think it's just been an amazing process, and just deeply grateful for that. I think, yeah, I wasn't sure that I wanted to write, and having that experience was really, really powerful. I've told my story, but never written it down, and in that way, and I think it's just, yeah, it's just been an amazing opportunity to be with others as well, kind of on the same mission, and just it's been wonderful. So thank you so much for all the support and being able to kind of step into that different part of myself that I hadn't explored before, and I feel like it's really opened up a whole lot of opportunities for myself, within myself, of the way I can move forward and expressing and sharing and being true to myself. So it's really been a powerful experience. Thank you.
That's awesome. Joanna, what about you? What are your final thoughts?
I just loved being included in something so wonderful. I feel like it's just another community of people that are like-minded, that kind of get it, that just want to do good. A lot of times I feel like in the world you get involved in communities and there's always some underlying mission that's to make money or to do all these other kind of things. But this is just a solid heart, I feel like, experience. It's a solid, loving, putting good vibes out there. Why not? And I love that I was able to be even a minute, tiny little part of that is empowering.
Your check is in the mail. Thanks for saying all those lovely things. Teresa, what about you? Thank you, Joanna. What about you, Teresa? Final thoughts?
So I ditto from what these ladies just said. anytime I get the opportunity to either share some of my story or be the receiver of someone else's story, for me, this is like sacred space. And it's powerful to be able to step into something that is part of our journey from the aspect of we are being true to who we were created to be, and putting that out there in the world for other people to see and other people to say, hey, you know, like you said, like was said a couple of times here, we may not have it figured out, we may not have it all figured out, but we can lock arms, hold hands with other people who are on the journey and share stories to be able to make it a little bit easier on everyone along the way, a little bit more joyful, a little bit more happiness. All kinds of good stuff comes from this. And I'm just immensely blessed to be part of the journey.
Aww.
Why, thank you.
What about you, Marcus, my partner in crime?
Well, you know, for me, it was a personal story from, you know, anxiety and really no enjoyment of life, truly, to where I am now. I want to, first of all, spread that news, but, you know, having it wrapped into the concept of the book, giving other people the power and the tool to do the same. That's, I think, what makes it worth screaming out there. You know, everybody should really try and do a little bit of a journey inward to figure out how to get themselves balanced, nicely rounded for the good, smooth wellness wheel before they let anything in, because then they can judge, do I even want that, or can I shut it off? There's so many discussions out there about politics and things like that these days, and wars and stuff. A lot of this I don't need, okay? That I don't need opinions about this. You know, action's great, but, you know, us individually don't have a lot of say in this, except for trying to share good vibrations. That's basically what it is. And getting people onto that level of enjoyment of life is a completely different deal. Let's try and get people to do that. We'll have a better world.
Thank you. And that, right. And that's.
And how about you, Peggy? What about your final?
Oh,
how about
I'll let you know. I'll let you know tomorrow or the next day. There's a flower delivery truck in my driveway.
Okay.
Oh,
maybe they're from could be from my boyfriend. I shouldn't make any assumptions. This is just what I'd like to finally say. You guys, stories like this and this type of book is for everybody. It doesn't matter your culture, ethnicity. We've got everybody from all over the planet in this, from Japan to Alaska. We've got males, females, and non-disclosed. It doesn't matter, right? I mean, disclosed, it doesn't matter. We've got everybody, doctors, lawyers, Indian chiefs, and everybody has a story. It doesn't matter. I can't wait to hear from you. Any comments you have about the book, or if you'd like to be in the next book, you can email me at peggy@allthingswellness.com, or you can hop on to the website at allthingswellness.com/author, and it has the layout of the next book and what these two are about. I love you guys as always. I say it all the time. My little baby birds flying off.
Thank you guys. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Bye-bye.
Thank you, Peggy.
Thanks.